Hobbyologist. Hello, it is Mike, and this is a little shop of hobbies. I've got my beard in a ponytail. I forgot I did that. I was trying to figure out what was in my beard. Figured it was paint. So we are doing not slot cars. I can't get up there right now. But I'm trying to stay motivated, and I'm doing some yard decorations. So if you watched last year, or I did a couple little short videos this year, I do plywood cutout yard decorations. I draw them out on typically scrap pieces of plywood. I've been doing this for 17 years, since my daughter was born, almost 18 years. And I don't know how many we've got. Probably, I'd say at least 50. Anyways, I'll have to count them. So this year, we're doing Disney Robin Hood, the fox, and the little rabbit that hangs out with him. Rarity from My Little Ponies. The Foxens for my son, Orion. And then he's 13. And then Elena wanted Rarity. I did a My Little Pony for her last year, and she wanted a friend for it. So Rarity, the My Little Pony for Elena. And then Amber, I don't know how we missed it because it's been a popular one for the whole family, but somehow we never did Wally. So I'm doing Wally and Eva for Amber. And then I did a Bluey this year. I'll show you here in a minute. But I did a Bluey this year for my friend Jen for her grandson Mason. So I'm finishing up Wally, and I figured I was on chit-chatting with Bryce and Easy and Bradley were on there, and anyways, I figured I'd turn the camera on while I was painting. So we're finishing up. I've already started a little bit, but basically I pencil sketch everything. You got Wally and Eva. Eva, that's our puppy's name. Well, she's 11 years old. She's still a puppy. Anyways, so we got Wally and Eva. I pencil sketch them. Usually I'll find a drawing or whatever, and I'll go off of it. Sometimes I'll change it. Sometimes I leave it the same. Usually they don't have any kind of Christmassy stuff, so I'll add whatever, a wreath or a bow, or change their clothes Christmassy or whatever. So I haven't done that yet with these guys, so I got to figure out what Christmassy I'll add to it. Kind of gotten a couple ideas. Anyways, so the board was already painted white from whatever project it came from before. And I've painted her white. I've done the yellow. Like I said, pencil sketch, cut it out with the jigsaw. And then I go over it with start doing details with a black or whatever color paint marker. And then I've started painting him yellow, and I did her white, even though the board was white, make her more vivid. It was pretty dingy. And extra protection coat on the wood too. So, and like I said, I've had some of these, for 17, 18 years now. Several of them in the yard do need to be repaired, but for the most part, they've lasted really good. I try to touch up, paint them every once in a while, every couple years. Did a bunch of them last year. But so anyways, I need to put more yellow down. So let's spin these guys. Got my little fake fireplace going. It is 53.4 degrees in the shop. Woohoo! Gotta get this ceiling put in here. So, so in this area, well, on the eye area, head area, I went back and looked. I do need to go ahead and make that yellow. There's background yellow with it's mostly rust. So I want to do more yellow in here. And then I screwed up with like his control and comms and stuff, how I want it anyways. So I painted that white. I need to go over, I wanted it blanked back out. I need to add yellow there. And then I think we need to go on to gray and black, and then we'll come back and we'll do the rust and start putting some details in it. She's got a bunch of black on her face. We can do that. So let me go ahead and we'll start the yellow. See if we can't maybe get you guys in a position to where you can see what I'm doing. You can use whatever. Hey, so I freehand this stuff. If you've got an old projector, you can, set it up on your wall and a piece of plywood against the wall and sketch it out. And, you don't have to jigsaw everything out. It can be just a square piece of wood, and you can do this at home. And it doesn't have to be, a 4-foot by 3-foot board either. So some of them I do are, foot by foot, and then I've got Elf from Buddy from the Elf movie, and he's 6 foot. I can't remember, 6'2". I made him exactly as tall as Will Ferrell. Anyways, so yeah, even if I'm not a great artist. Like, even if you're not a great artist, like, just sit down and draw something out, and if you don't want it in your yard, give it to someone in your family or something. If you're interested in trying to figure this kind of stuff out. So, I don't know why I keep moving this thing around. I want it right there. So, we've got a pocket in my mouse, a mouse in my pocket. I've also enjoyed over the years. I'll ask the neighborhood kids what they want to see, what they want me to make and put in the yard, and so we've got a handful of what I think neighborhood girls wanted Mario and Princess Peach last year, and what we've got Kirby, and I don't know, some other video game stuff, and the Buddy the Elf, I did that for Bryce's daughter last year. I asked him what she would like me to make, so I did him. And I think I'm going to redo him. I think I'm going to make him more cartoony. I tried making him look too much like Will Ferrell, and I'm not a very good portrait person, so I think he may get a redo. What paintbrush do I want to use? Dun, dun, dun. Oh, I did Kermit last year. We got him with the Animal. Animal was one of my favorites growing up. Probably because I was crazy and he was crazy and it just felt right. I do kind of try to keep my lines nice, but when I'm done, I come back with either a fine, well, both, a fine tip paintbrush and do my final kind of outline and any kind of last minute details I want to add, shading or whatever. These paint markers are really handy for that too, but still different brushes give you different effect, obviously. Once this area is dry, I need to look at the pictures and see if I need to add anything back or if this area is just yellow. I really don't feel like I need to go too much over the first yellow because it's got that dingy, and a lot of it's going to get like a rust put over the top of it. So I'm gonna just come in here. Can you see? And then with the yellow, just in every area on the head, I know that there's only a little bit that shows through, but it'll help change the tone when I come back and do my rust. I just use these different brand latex paints from Hobby Labby. And if you, I do have these tubes, but if you're doing a ton of this, like I go through a ton of this paint for just different projects, including the track scenery I'm not doing. Frustrates me. I really want to get up there. Anyways, they've got the bigger size jugs also. Oh. If I need to come back, I will, but I think I don't remember any yellow around his eyes the last time I looked at the picture. And the picture's on my phone and you're on my phone, so I can't look at the picture. So I will catch that later. Come over here. Gotta do his neck. do have a black line that I thought I wanted but decided I didn't want, so I'm gonna come at some different angles. There. Tame that down a little bit, and then we'll make it disappear with shading. So because Wally is so battered and old, and another thing, like kind of like I just did, but you can get these globs, blend them in, but you want him to have different yellows. It's been a minute since he was in a paint booth getting a touch up. So, like I said, I'm not doing a complete repaint of the yellow, but you can definitely come in here and darken up some areas to give it a little bit more effect. And I know the neighbors and people driving by can't see every little detail from the road, but this is also more for me and my family. Okay, it's for me. No, it's for all of us. There are lots of ways to fix mistakes when you're doing stuff like this. Okay. We will put more over this white. But we do want some of that lighter yellow coming through. Just want it hit and miss. Kind of have this little bit of yellow coming through in the separation of his track. Sorry, I was over here doing some little highlights. I guess I should pay attention where I'm at and where you're at. And I know a lot of this yellow that I'm doing right here in this little touch-up area, or not highlighting, it will get covered up, but like I said, it's going to change the tones. Some of it will be popping through at the end. So, and I'm sure there's people out there that are gonna be like, oh yeah, we knew that, but do you see right there? I noticed this while doing it, never knew it before, but that is a little car from Toy Story. Apparently they've got these little Easter eggs like through, I don't know. My family, I'm sure, knows everything. But yeah, if you are drawing and you look into the fine details, you realize that that's a car. So I did not know that. So let's clean this guy. Clean your brushes. We all use these brushes. There's like 50 of them. And I know I've done it as much as everyone else, but I threw probably 20 away yesterday going through here that were ruined. So let's grab some black. And white. I'm going to make up some gray. So that's what we just did around his head. You can see how much brighter that is where I did over the white, so I need to grungy it up some. And then there was these two I just did. There was bright white under them, so I need to dingy them up a little bit. Not a problem. So we've got a bunch of gray and black in here. Anyways, around his face. So we just did a lot of yellow over here, so I know I did some yellow here, but it's already dry. So we'll let that alone for a second, and we'll do some gray and black over here and work our way up. Oh, I shouldn't have moved you. Okay. Okay. So let's use sorry, trying to figure out what brush I want. Yeah, we'll go with that. Oop, that was a lot of white. What did you do? That black is gone. Sorry. One day I'll get this figured out. All right. Clean that brush. Use this one. I kind of got a little crazy on that top one. I painted right over the top of my stuff. So, switched over to a smaller brush. That way I don't have to redo a ton of work that I just did. got myself in a weird position. I'm like leaning over the table. If you kind of dab around in your mixed up paint on the edges, you can get some lighters and darkers. And then something like this, it helps add character to it. So like if I grab some of this area, kind of put it in there. So now I've got some lighter areas. Kind of gives it some shadow and blah blah blah. I don't know. I'm no Bob Ross. Okay, I watched him when I was a kid. Use the tip of the brush. Okay, I've been visited by family. See ya!